Thank you so much. Thank you very much. Okay, our next presenter is Adam Krass, Head of Technology, Annalect, Australia. Welcome.
Thank you.
You want a microphone?
No, that's Gail. I'll stand here. Yep. Cool. Hola. So today I'm going to take you through how we reached the Un-Targetable for children's Panadol. So children's Panadol was in rapid decline because new mums thought it wasn't as effective as the competitors. Panadol was no longer trusted. This was a business critical situation for us. If you lose mums within the first year, you lose them for life. So our challenge was to reach new mums and increase perceptions around effectiveness and trust while halting declining sales. But first we needed to find out why mums were turning away. So our research uncovered that it wasn't that Panadol was less effective, it was the mums that were using it incorrectly. Mums were using babies' ages to calculate dosage rather than using their weight. So now we could have just run our dosage message, but we knew that with trust lost, that wouldn't have applied with those mums. So analysing their search behaviour, we found our way back in. First-time mums search ferociously for ways to solve the challenges they're facing with their babies and make them feel better. So what we looked at were some of the key themes. So viruses, fever, teething, and immunisation. So if we could build content around those key themes, we could then place our dosage message off the back of those content pieces. So looking at our audience and looking at the data available in market, we knew that there was 25,000 new mums at any one point in time in market, but none of the data available helped us find her. So most of the data available was mums 0 to 5, whereas we needed new mums. So we needed mums with babies 0 to 1. So we built her ourselves. So by mining programmatic bid stream data, we looked at 8 billion events every day, every 24 hours, around our key themes, and we built our audiences based on what content people were looking for. So taking those behaviours, we also then built out a second and third party data strategy to make sure that the audience we built based on our key themes were also mums with newborn babies and not other people. So we leveraged the Lotame DMP to help overlay our mums data, so we knew that the people we were talking to were within a mum segment. And then we also leveraged Lotame for our audience segmentation. We then also partnered with KidSpot, a mums publisher in Australia, which is focused around mums. So that data overlaid on top of our key themes made sure that we were targeting the right audience and providing the right content to them. So by knowing who our mums were and targeting those mums, we knew exactly what content to feed to them. So based on what they were searching for in that moment in time, we were able to provide the right content to them so that we could get our message across to them and then pass the dosage message to them so they could use the dosage calculator. And in another first, we partnered with Google so we could push our audiences through to YouTube. So one of the big challenges for FMCG and drug companies is the lack of data available for usage. So partnering with YouTube on a beta, we were able to push our audiences across and target mums at scale. So finally, we were able to reach our mums. So in a major first, we're looking at ABS data. We knew that there was roughly 133,000 mums in market at any one moment in time. And our audiences that we built out in Lotame had 144,000 mums. So that was changing on a daily basis in terms of who was falling into our audience and who was falling out. So looking at Millward Brown studies in terms of the content we were pushing across to these mums, we could see that the industry average is 57%. And we came across at 92 to 95% in terms of believability. And as you can see from these creatives, these are not Cairns Gold Lions, these are workhorses. So this was just getting our message in front of the mums at the right time when they needed it. And mums were coming to Children's Panadol. They were coming to the website, they were reading the content, and they were flowing through and navigating to the dosage calculator. So we're getting mums to the site, and we're getting mums to go on and find out the right way in terms of dosing their babies. And then looking at our other IPSOS data, we could see that we drove Children's Panadol back into the #1 position in the category. So all of our key metrics in terms of believability around the brand was back into #1. And most importantly of all, in a declining market, when our competitors' sales were declining, Children's Panadol increased. Sales grew by 4.6%. And our client was blown away with the results. So this was the first time ever for GSK that we were able to run a digital-only campaign. It's the first time that we got rid of all of our traditional channels and moved all of our budget into digital. And this is now used as a global first, a global standard in terms of how we should start doing audience-based targeting. And there was a number of other firsts involved. So in terms of our partnership with YouTube and passing across our audiences, in terms of our mum finding the right content that they needed to help alleviate the pains of their children, for our client in terms of having no relationship with customers to now having a data set which they could target those customers and speak to them. None of their competitors have this data. Thanks very much.
Thank you. And you're 45 seconds ahead. Congratulations. Any questions? Yeah.
So I'm curious how you put together the data segment on first-time mothers and how you measured as to how far you guys were on target.
Yep. So by listening to the programmatic bid stream, we were listening to all of the people searching for those key challenges, which was the core of our data set. So using some semantic learning, we were understanding what the content was that people were going to. So that was the core of our data set, which we then pushed into the DMP. From there, we overlaid some mums data as well to make sure that we were targeting mums. And then we also had our partnership with a mums publisher. So they pushed their data into GSK's DMP so that we could validate our data set that one, they were mums with challenges for their children, and two, that they were in the data set of mums. They weren't other adults that had those challenges, which brought our data back significantly. So we went from 600,000 in our core segment down to that roughly 144,000 any one time. And so that was changing on a daily basis.
How many impressions were you able to deliver on those 144,000?
Yeah, so we weren't modelling out the segment. It was for what we can see with the data is if you lose mums at that stage and they go to the competitor, we lose them across the Panadol product as well for adults. So for us, it wasn't about scale. It was just about making sure that we hit the right people and get them understanding the product better. So that was the core of what we were trying to do. And that's what we saw come through in the sales as well.
One question here, quickly.
You made a point at the end there about how you were able to show that you drove sales. How exactly did you do that?
So this was, so as you saw, we had a lot of different measurement partners on this campaign. It was the first time we were able to convince GSK to go all in on digital only. So we weren't running any other channels. So for the last couple of years, it was mixed across above the line and below the line. So this is the first time we had a digital only campaign. In the last couple of years, we were seeing a slow decline in terms of sales, and we were sitting at that #2 spot. So we measured that by the fact that this data ran across the entirety of that campaign. So there was no other channel that we were advertising with at the time.
Thank you very much, Adam. Thank you.